What up, Joe? What up, Joe? Welcome to YISI, the Sports Podcast. I'm your host, the Iceman. This the team.
What's the dealio? It's your man, Alio, aka Mastermind. Once again, it's on, y'all.
How y'all doing, people? How y'all doing? It's transformation time, baby. Be like Syracuse today. I'm staying in the zone.
Okay, baby. Okay, Jim Beheim, Jimmy B.
And it's your boy, Young P. I'm in the building, aka Mr. PR. Let's get it.
All right, all right, all right. We got another great show for you people out there. We got another great show. How you guys doing today? Everything good?
Everything's beautiful, boss
Okay,
man.
okay. Before we get into the show, I just got a question to ask you guys. This I found out today. I don't know if it's true or not, but it's just something I found out today. And they both champions, and I hear that they both cousins. Jordan Hawkins from UConn and Angel Reese
Yeah.
from LSU. Yeah, the
Yeah.
young lady who just won. Yeah, I heard that they cousins. I just seen that today. Just congratulations for cousins.
Right.
So
Right.
I didn't know that, but good job to the both of you.
I just heard that today. And they from what, B-More? Yeah.
Okay.
That's dope.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So we're gonna start the show, and this is how we're gonna start it. Did this year's women basketball championship game bring more attention than the NBA? Excuse me. Did this year's women's basketball championship game bring more attention to the sport like Magic and Bird? Starting off with you, Mastermind.
Well, I think it did, honestly, because the excitement was brought back. It was really two good competitors. There was some good competitors in there, to be honest,
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of people thought that South Carolina was going to dominate, and for them to get knocked out, that was a good upset. And then for Kalen to go against Reese and LSU team, that was a great game right there for the finals last night. So I thought it definitely brought some excitement back to the NBA, to the college basketball,
My bad mentioning the NBA. Got him mentioning everybody. Excuse us,
to the
folks.
women's college basketball. It definitely
Right,
brought some excitement. Got me looking forward to when those ladies come to the WNBA.
right, right. What you got to say over there, Cool Breeze?
I think it changed what we come to expect of women's basketball. So I definitely think that just it's very entertaining. Much watched TV. It was also the highest watched college sport as far as basketball
Right.
over men this year. So I think it was definitely entertaining. Can't wait to see these two ladies battle it out in the pros. If Caitlin Clark decides to stay one more year, be definitely interesting to see how they match up again, either in a tournament or a regular season game. So I definitely think they open up the eyes of America, just the aspect of how talented these women are. And I think just to keep everything fresh,
Mm-hmm.
they need to put the women basketball players in more commercials. You know what I'm saying? Just to remind everybody, like, oh, these women are really
Okay,
good.
okay. That's good. That's good. That's it. You been home thinking about some things.
That's about
You
marketing
been
for
home thinking
Yeah,
about some
better
things.
marketing.
Okay. What you got to say, young Pete?
Definitely did that. Number one, Caitlin, she has to come back. So she got to play her another year just because of the rules for the WNBA.
Oh,
She'll
really?
be back
Okay.
in college next year.
And Andrew Reese too. They
Yeah,
said
I think
She's gonna be a sophomore.
yeah, they both will
Okay,
be back.
okay.
So that
Definitely. I didn't know. I thought Caitlin was a senior.
no, she only a junior. But yeah, I definitely think it definitely did that. I feel like part of what did it even more was I think it was two things that did it. One, everybody was gunning for South Carolina. Like
Mhm.
I think the betting field was you could bet the field against South Carolina. So everybody was gunning for them. So to see them either pursue a perfect season or wait for whoever was going to topple them had everybody on edge, especially that they could ball. You know what I'm saying? And then Caitlin, she almost embodied Steph Curry. So it was like this girl got range. She could shoot it.
Mhm.
She could shoot it. I'm talking about on
right.
quick drops come around the screen, double screen, whatever. She was
Right.
popping that boy. So it made you just that much more interested because you like, oh, what's going
They
on?
doing this.
They
Women,
doing this is going down. This is hype. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So
Right.
it gave so much excitement, especially when not to knock the boys, when so many of the big schools got put out, you start losing interest in the men's. It was like, I'm gonna watch this as the NCAA
Oh no, I
championship.
kind of disagree with that. I disagree with that. Yeah. Probably because your team was in the NIT. You know, I mean, you know, that probably what that was. But I'm gonna go like this. I do think it was an interesting, very interesting game, well played and all. But I think it was well watched because I think I'm not for sure, but I'm pretty for sure, but I'm not for sure. She's a homer, right? Caitlin?
Yeah, she's from
Yeah, for
Iowa.
Iowa.
Yeah,
Okay.
from
And I believe by her being a homer, that is a big reason why it got a big, national attention. You know what I'm saying? As far as that. And then she took a whole group of probably some all right players and put them on their back like Larry Bird did Indiana State. I can say that. And then for it to be, like you say, that many people televised and people on Facebook texting about it and all like that. So yeah. But I'm wondering who was Magic Johnson, because I understand LSU won and well deserved. But I believe if it was Caitlin, because I believe a lot of people was watching because of her. And I believe, but I believe it was like just say if it was another dominant player playing against Caitlin, would have been like that, and if she would have still lost whatever, then it would have been really
See, I think
in
40.
my opinion.
I think 45. I can't think of her name. The other
yeah, the
star.
point guard.
Yeah.
Point guard who
Mm.
got hot in the fourth quarter.
Right. She got hot in the. If she had been hot all game, it really would have been like the battle of them two. But it took her a while to kind of get hot.
So I say this: the similarities. If you go from going back to '79 with
Mhm,
Indiana
mhm.
and Michigan,
Mississippi State
you got how to say it, but we're gonna say you got the hood team
team,
versus America's team.
team, right, yeah.
If y'all read between the lines, you understand what I'm
Right,
saying?
right. We understand. You already
LSU
do.
5 was
I
what?
mean,
I
let's
got
then we got to talk about.
So I think that also brought a lot of people to watch it because now you got America's team upsetting South Carolina, so they like, whoa, what's going on here? Then you got
I think it was the FIFA. We move along. I'm gonna let y'all say something. Y'all got something to say. I see what he's saying. I'm gonna say it was the old school. Uh, what was that? Who beat Kentucky? Back in the day.
Oh yeah.
Bobby Joe Hill and them when they beat. So this probably
Western Kentucky.
yeah,
That's
right. This was the female version of that, and you know what I'm saying. So there it is for LSU. Congratulations. Before we move on, if I got something else to say on that,
I do. I was trying to
what?
sit here and think who who would you actually consider like the Magic Johnson in this? But I think more or less it wasn't just a person like how back then it was
Yeah,
Magic.
right.
I think it was just the basically her against the NCAA, and they wanted to see who could stop Caitlin as much as they could see who was going to go, defeat the
Yeah,
undefeated. You
right,
know what I'm saying?
right,
I think that's what kind of drew a lot of attention
right.
too, because all season long they was talking about her. Right. She was, putting up 25, 30 and triple doubles and
You
Okay.
don't think Reese? You don't think they were trying to push her to be the Magic?
I
No.
think
No,
see
no, no,
that's I
because
think
I mean,
everybody thought South Carolina was gonna be there.
I
So
think
no.
I think Asia Reese before we end it, I think Asia Reese was a great player. I
Okay,
think that her image didn't allow them to push her to the top to make her.
okay, let's go. Cause we can talk about Reese on the next topic. What's this right here? What's that gesture they say this is here? Which I say that was. Yeah, see, nah, we're gonna change it on this show. Thoughts on my man Tony Yayo. We're gonna throw the Tony Yayo out on y'all. Thoughts on the Tony Yayo gesture between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. We're gonna do the Tony Yayo. We ain't gonna do the that other gesture. We're gonna start off with you, Cool Breeze.
I think the media exploited it more or made it more of an issue. I don't know if it's the news media, sports media, but the Twitter fingers, the
Mhm.
Twitter thugs, or whatever you want to call themselves. I think that gained so much attention that the news media had to come up and talk about it, which made it more divided. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I think looking at two women who very competitive, highly competitive, and they you had to pick a side. I don't see anything wrong with it. I think that's just the nature of the game because you got somebody talking shit. and then I get the best of you, you can't look down. I don't know if Caitlyn felt like that or not, but you can't get mad when that person turn around talking shit. You've been talking shit. Plus, for her to do that late in the game, who knows what in game trash talking was going on from the tip, from the very first quarter of the tip off all the way up until the end. So
And before I pass it on to you, Mastermind, that's what we need to know. Because trash talks, the great ones, you're gonna talk at the beginning, the middle, not at the end. That goes for Caitlin, that goes for Reese, that goes for anybody.
yeah,
So we need to know, was there any trash talking in the in between? So yeah, that's a good one. Go ahead, Mastermind.
No, I believe that it had, but I think this is the bigger picture to me. This is what I took from the whole thing. I think that really it got glorified because she did it. You know, Reese did it because of her, her image that they already give her.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? By her doing it, they gonna really glorify it.
right,
Because truthfully, if Angel Reese wouldn't have did that, we would have never knew that Kaylin did this the other game
right,
before that. You
right,
see what I'm saying? Because after the game, they didn't really glorify that Kaylin because Kaylin did it previous before. I
right.
think it was what the Elite Eight or Final Four, one of those. She told the team like y'all can't see
See,
me.
Yeah,
right.
that's
So
a
that's where
fucking
she
pass,
got it
right?
from.
Not,
That's where
not
Yeah, that's reason.
that's where
um,
Angel Reese got it from.
when they was beating South Carolina. Remember
She did it to
talked.
South Carolina.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but she did it twice.
She did it twice.
Yeah.
She did it to Louisville and she did it to South Carolina. But the other disrespect was South Carolina point guard. Remember, she like, oh, you
Yeah.
selfish.
Oh, what you done there?
Yeah,
Yeah, you
Yeah.
know what I'm
but
saying?
see,
Like, you
so
selfish.
no,
Right.
that's what I'm saying.
All
But
right.
I'm
Right.
just saying this.
So she literally been talking shit
But this is the
throughout
point
the
I'm trying to
tournament.
get at, though. No,
Okay,
the
hold on.
point
Let
that
me
I'm
get your
trying to
point.
make is this: nobody advertised that Caitlyn did it all those other times, like we hearing about it since
Nah,
Angel Reese
Reese
when
did
it
it.
did
Did that.
this.
Right.
See what I'm saying? So that's the bigger issue to me. Why we wasn't knowing that Caitlyn was doing this, antagonizing players and making a big issue out of it back then when she started doing it.
Right.
Now since Angel Reese only did it really just this time,
Time.
Right.
Right.
why is it such a big issue?
Go ahead, young P.
I definitely loved it, but that's my take on it. I hear what both of you all are saying. I just feel like Caitlyn was the great white hope. You know what I'm saying? So they look at it like she took it down South Carolina, and I just feel like it's just America kind of showing what America is. You know what I'm saying? They loved it when Caitlyn did it. It was a great competitive sport. But Reese did it because we already don't slightly don't like her in America because of how her persona and how she is. So it was like, oh, it's not good because they're looking at her from a different lens than they are looking at Caitlyn. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like Caitlyn, just like
Like
old
I
girl
just said.
from UConn, Paige, that's really who they thought was going to be the great white hope, but she broke her leg or something before the
Hey,
season
back.
started. So I think it's that dynamic. It's just America showing their true colors, and that's what it was.
Okay, okay. Well, before we move along, my take on it is this. I think we talking about the wrong thing about them ladies. Like you say, it's competitive. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? No fights, no nothing. So let that go. What we need to be talking about is the coach. Everybody forgetting about the coach winning in Baylor and winning over here in LSU. Let's talk about that. That's what everybody need to be talking about with her and where she's going to stand at in the rankings and all of that because she won at two programs, two highly ranked strong programs, and she won whew, pretty quick,
This
pretty quick.
Especially
so
at
their
LSU.
second year at
Yeah,
LSU.
You know what I'm saying? So.
but see, that's what what's the name said though. Angel Reese. She
uh,
said, "I'm only going to LSU because I want to get a champion."
Right.
And then not only that, like you say, he went there. And then I also want to applaud the coach also for bringing in that young lady Flage,
Yeah.
the rapper player also, you know what I mean? And so that was also nice, and great defense on your behalf. Seeing you playing good D, but like I say, I believe the media and everybody talking about the wrong thing. Hopefully tomorrow or whatever, y'all start talking about the coach, get her praises. And hey, that's gonna be a hard thing to do for a lot of coaches to go, to two
I think
different
this is
programs, two high-powered
I
programs,
think this is what championship number 4 for her.
and win. I don't know how many it is for, but I know she won in two different programs.
They interviewed Caitlyn the other day, and she did come out and say she didn't have a problem with it. So, like you said, it's more of the media blowing it.
Yeah, that's what
Right.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay, where do you rank Caden Clark? Starting off with you, young Pete.
So I thought about this for a second, and I looked at her stats, and every year she averages 26, 27. She's a killer all 3 years. But I still put her in college ranking top 10, but at number 8 of all
Okay.
time. Now I
Okay.
know you're thinking, who can possibly be better than her?
Now that's what you thinking. We're gonna listen though, but we
I,
go ahead.
I could definitely name like Cheryl Miller. I feel like it's better than her. Sue Bird, Diana Taurasi, you know what I'm saying? Of course, Maya Moore, who I said last show. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Sure.
Rose Claw, Tamika. I mean, it's people you can
All
go
right.
above her, but she's a killer. But you're still number 8
All right.
on my
We
list.
got her at P's top 10. She's number 8. Go ahead. Cool breeze.
Um, I'm giving her as of this year, because it's still, she
Mm,
still got her legacy to
mm,
build on if she got to come back next year. So, but this year, she's the best male and female basketball player, hands down, as far as college basketball. Male, she's not. I'm giving her my vote over men too. She's the best men or women's basketball player this year.
okay.
Um,
Okay.
she probably about time her resume and legacy is done by next year, she'll probably definitely be in the top 10. Uh, she'll move up more depending on how her NBA, her professional career goes. You know what I'm saying? But right now, I'm gonna give her top 10.
Yeah, I'd have just been talking about her college. My apologies. We just talking about the
I mean, I
college.
thought we just talking about
Oh,
college
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
but yeah, definitely top 10. Definitely top 10. Just well, she has changed the game to where she's making men and women watch the game.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So she's definitely top 10. Like I said, she still got one more year to show what she's all about to probably even move up into the top 5. But definitely this year, she's the best, hands down, pound for pound, however you want to look at it, best basketball player at her position, men or women. Men
Okay.
and women.
Before I pass it down to Mastermind, I'm going just going to make it simple and quick. I'd have had her in my top 5, probably top 3, if she would have won. For the simple fact, she a Batman, didn't have no Robin. Everybody else that we naming or that we know, they had some nice teams, nice squads, teams that never lost any of that. And they always had a Robin on their team. But so like I say, by her carrying that team on her back, and if they would have won, she'd have been in my tops. Plus, she led in scoring and assists. So I'll just leave it at that and I'll pass over to Mastermind.
Well, mine is kind of similar to what Noob and P was kind of hinting at. I give her top 10 all time right now, just for her performance
Performance, right?
because of what you were saying,
Right, right.
how
I
she
got you.
carried everything herself.
Right,
Now, for this year, I gotta agree with Noob. I think she might have been the best player, men or
right,
you
right,
know what I'm saying, men or female, to be
right.
totally honest.
He agreeing with Cool Breezy.
Yes, I'm agreeing with
Yeah.
Cool Breeze on that one.
Okay. Young Breezy.
Because she dominated every time. Whenever it was time to step up, she stepped up. It's just that sometimes you can't always win it when you only you by yourself. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have a dominant team. So this year, if I was your coach, I'm doing some recruiting. I'm getting me a dominant small forward, maybe somebody to get down there, do a little dirty work and a power forward, and I think she'll be all right.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
What if one girl hadn't got the senior hadn't got into foul trouble early? Could that have made a difference in the game?
Just a little bit, but I think they would still
Yeah,
keep
I think
dominating. She
LSU was
was in
just gonna
age. They
steal
was
around them.
Uh,
besides Kaylin showing up, everybody else like they was nervous. The moment was too big.
So I'm not gonna say I say the refs, man. For whatever reason, refs really didn't let nobody get into a good groove. Like I could be wrong, but I think that was
Temps.
Told you.
I think that was a
Temp
team.
service rep.
Yeah, I
Temp
think
service.
so.
Both of the games too, though. I ain't gonna lie. I think
But I'm saying
I
I
agree
said
with that too.
ticky tack technical foul in the third
The
quarter.
quarter, yeah.
Okay, before we move along, have you guys two ever agreed with each other before? I happen to see you guys agreed together just now.
First time on. This is the first time for everything. It's the first time for everything.
I do.
Zone and then
All right.
Syracuse. Just call me Syracuse for
So he said, okay, okay. He in his zone. Jim Bay high. Okay, okay.
You just
I,
double check with me before the show. That's all I was. Yeah, that's all
okay.
I was.
Well, this is Mastermind.
Yes, yes, sir.
What's the difference between Ed Martin and Sonny Vaccaro? Starting off with you, Mastermind.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Basically, they saying that from what I was reading on Ed Martin, they basically saying that Ed Martin used his money from an illegal gambling operation, which was quote unquote, he's supposed to have been running numbers at the Ford ruling plan.
Right. Yeah.
This is supposed to be such a elaborate gambling scheme that he working on. They ain't thinking that because he retired from Ford that he could have some money saved. They're not saying none of that. But anyway, they saying that he used his money to like basically cater to the players and get them everything they needed and to kind of be a bank for them until they got into the NBA. Well, where Sonny, on the other hand, is Sonny kind of used his marketing ability that he had with Nike and the other different outlets that he had, the leagues and stuff like how he started his little summer leagues and all of that to persuade the players to do kind of the same thing. But he used the coaches instead of directly dealing with the players to give them the money. He used the coaches and the schools to distribute the money to the kids. So to me, basically, one was more, I guess, one wasn't considered a booster and the other one was. But besides that, they were basically the same thing.
What you got to say, Cool Breezy?
Sort of similar to what Mastermind said. We're gonna say Eric Martin. He used his money out his own pocket to help out the kids from Michigan and no one else. Whereas Sonny, New York guy, got plugged in with Nike and Adidas, so the money didn't technically come from Sonny. Like the money came from Ed out his own pockets, however he got it, you know.
Mhm.
But Sonny was able to, Nike dropped the bag off at your house, but say all Nike product. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
he
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah.
used illegal money funneled through big corporations.
Okay. Okay.
You know.
What you got to say, Young P?
That's my take on it. You have to look at it from this standpoint. Like you said, Big Ed, he pretty much so-called used whatever money, however he got it, but he was using it for a team that kind of like South Carolina, either you loved or hated Michigan at that time. That team, especially the 5-5, you loved or hated them. And at that time, us in the hood loved them, but America didn't love they swag and how they got down. So they like, what's going on in this situation? And it looked like he was a bad person giving them money and helping them get to where they got, and that's why Michigan got what they did. Maybe your boy, I heard they must have give him enough money, the team or whatever. Now he started kind of bringing it to the forefront. But I think the biggest difference is it's kind of like what you said. Sonny more so looked like he was almost like Worldwide West before Worldwide West. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? And I'm going around getting talent here. I started one of the most famous camps, the ABCD camp. You know what I'm saying? So I'm bringing all the top players. I work for Nike, so it's not really like I'm doing anything crazy. I work for Nike, and then I work for Adidas. So really, I'm getting in a big bag. And then he's attributed to finding Michael Jordan. They kind of call him the guy who found Michael Jordan. So
Right.
he found one of the they consider the best player to ever do it and was able to get him a bag, Kobe a bag, all these top players bags. So he's not villainized for teams like that. He's looked at like this the go-to guy that can find you talent for your college uh team. Or and on top of that, your business. I can figure out who will be the best person for you to market. So
Right.
it's like I said, it's just Shining Knight versus the Dark Knight. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
just sidebar.
Still Knights, both of
Sidebar.
them. Pretty good.
Quick question, just quick answer. Do you think Ed would have got in trouble? Well, he did get in trouble. I'm sorry. Do you think it would have been more swept underneath the rug if the players wouldn't have went to Michigan? Because we know what Michigan is compared to Michigan State
Okay.
or
Let
some
me
other
answer that. Let me answer that. I want to answer that. I want to answer that. I'm gonna answer that. I believe on what you saying. None of this would have never happened if them boys wouldn't have never got in that accident, Maurice Taylor. If that incident right there, that
That's what brought the
accident,
light.
that's what brought the light to everything. And when they got stopped or whatever, and I think they told, I'm not for sure, allegedly, that they told the officer and everything that they left with part of this and this, and somehow Ed Martin's name had got
They
put in
saying
there.
that the car was
You
a
know,
Ford Explorer that
you know,
Maurice Taylor had, and they were saying basically where did he get it from and how's it in his name?
right.
But to keep that university clean, you know
Well,
what I'm saying? You know how you throw a stone, hide your hands? I
Mm.
think
yeah,
Michigan did that to Ed.
yeah.
But would it have been different if it was a different university
Uh,
besides Michigan?
no, I probably been the same.
I'm gonna say this though.
But go ahead.
Nobody never mentioned this. Anybody think about how Ed got there?
No,
See,
no.
how Ed got there to this just me. I don't know. I don't know.
But okay,
They said Ed been friends with Perry Watson
Right.
since
right,
'79.
right.
So notice all this didn't start happening until Perry Watson got hired as an assistant
Same
coach
coach.
at Michigan under
Yeah.
Steve Fisher.
But okay, now back to the main question. The thing is this, like how y'all was saying about Vaccaro. I think the difference between them is, I think Ed Martin, he basically was about to be what, NIL before the NIL.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. I'm hearing they saying they gave, I don't know, whether it's his what godson or something. That's what I, yeah, allegedly. Yeah, I'm saying they supposed to game with like 500.
Two hundred eighty
You
thousand,
know,
I think, to him. I
okay,
think
once
Jaden
again,
Daniels was supposed to
Jalen.
get 500.
You know what I'm saying, or what have you. And my thing is, I believe the difference is Ed Martin just did it like, hey, out pocket this and this and this. And Vaccaro did it in the business sense. I believe if Ed Martin would have what LLC or whatever, just did anything with the paper and did it legit or however, I could be wrong, whatever, and did it the business way, whatever, I think everything would have been a okay. Because basically, like you say, Vaccaro did the same thing basically, but he did his the business way. And then like say, all them guys that Ed Martin knew, he could have started up a camp like how what's his name started up his ABCD camp or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It was like, find your way in. You know what I'm saying? That's I believe that's what Vaccaro did. He found his way in to where Ed Martin didn't. He did it his way. You know what I'm saying? Frank Sinatra. So that's how I look at it.
One more question though.
Go ahead.
Not necessarily, but yeah, question. Do you think would it not have gotten so big if Chris Webber had a just out the gate said, "Yeah, I took the money"? Him denying it for all of years, did that even hurt it even more?
I think it still would have
I
got
mean,
big
yeah, I
because of
Better
the
agree.
or
amounts,
Yeah,
because of the amount, the money amount. That's what it's all boiled
put
down
it
to.
down to it? Gotcha.
yeah. Okay, moving along. Should the NCAA say if you get caught in a scandal as a coach, you can't get another coaching job for 2 years if you don't go back to the same school? Cool breezy. What you think?
I feel like that's been going on. It's sort of an unwritten rule. Just examples that I can think of, just growing up watching news and hearing about it. Rick Pitino, John Calipari, coach from Houston, Calvin Simpson.
Okay, yeah, yeah,
All
yeah,
these guys are caught in scandals and they disappear from maybe a year or two. Maybe they go to the NBA. All of a sudden they pop up at a whole new school. So I think it's already an unwritten rule. But I mean, if you want to make it an actual rule from the NCAA, then yeah.
what you gonna say, Young P?
It definitely, I feel like it's an unwritten rule, but it is a rule on the books that says that, you know what I'm saying, that you can't um, get caught. It's called the show cause penalty on the coach. That's when you have to, if you get caught in a scandal before you even get hired, sometimes they even impose a penalty. Like they imposed an 8-year penalty on a coach back in the day. So they have did that already. Where they imposed an 8-year penalty on the coach, and I'm gonna tell you his name in a second. And then they got the show cause where you can't get another job until that school could prove why they're hiring that coach.
Mm-hmm.
I think most of them, it's kind of like you said, it's an unwritten rule. Either they go to the NBA, they go sit somewhere for a couple of years, they do all of that kind of stuff to kind of just let it die down. Because most of them, it's gonna get fired anyway. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I mean, it's not like you can really go back to the school anyway because the school fire you and don't want to have nothing else to do with it. So,
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, no matter what, it's gonna get done just because of that scenario. So you're gonna get fired, so you can't even go back to the school. And then most of them, if you're a good coach, they're eventually going. Somebody's gonna forgive you and let you coach. That's why you see Rick Pitino back. Even though his scandal was with a woman. You know what I'm saying? His biggest scandal was with a woman. It's just all of them did that. Because I even looked up and I saw our coach, the Pistons coach, got
Mm-hmm.
caught up in the scam at Kentucky. You know what I'm saying? He got put out.
Mm-hmm.
So they already got it already in place.
Okay. Well, my thing is this. I believe you get caught in any type of what is already called scandal, scandalous scandal that's like whoa to the program and all of that. When people got to get fired and you know what I'm saying all that. And my thing is this: the punishment should be you can't even coach in D1 no more. You can coach in D2 or D3 or whoever else call you, but you can't come back home to this Division 1 program. So that'll be my thing, football or basketball. If you get caught in them type of scandals, whatever, and it's malicious or whatever, that's it. No more D1 coaching. You can go to D2, D3, or whoever else wants you, but we can't have you here. That's my take on it. Yeah.
Just to throw something back at you. What if I truly didn't know what's going on? I'm leaving on the head coach, but maybe the AD and players and whoever Boost is doing it. What if I truly don't know what's going on? Should I be banned from coaching for life because of that?
I would use what you just called a show cause here. You got to show me that you didn't know cause.
Well, hey,
You
evidently
know what
this
I'm
boy
saying?
never been to court.
You know, that's what
Hey.
I would do. You got to show me that you didn't have no knowledge of
Go
nothing. And
Right.
I'm gonna answer the question real quick so we can go on to the
ahead.
next subject. I believe that it should be publicized more if it's an unwritten rule for it. I think you need to bring that to the attention of the masses because the way it's looking like I can just do anything I want. Yeah, I'm gonna go to Wayne State and coach. No, I was just at Indiana
Yeah.
University. I'm gonna go down to Wayne State for a year or two. I'll go to high school and do something for a year or two, and then now I'm popping back up in the masses. You know what I'm saying? No, that shouldn't be able to happen. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? You got to sit out from coaching. Period. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Because I don't want you to bring that scandal to nobody else.
Right.
So that way you can kind of feel the wrath of what you did. Because other than that, if I'm ducking and dodging, all I got to do is go over here to Henry Ford Community College, coach for a couple years, give me some money still,
Ty
come on back.
Boozman is a stand. He got an 8-year ban from coaching. We got caught at Cal in his scandal.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
he might be the
Well,
only
ain't no
one
more
of them.
coming back D1. We need you D2, D3, or whoever get you.
And
Okay. Which trio you start your franchise with? Oh, we. I want to know who you boys finna pick with this. These some nice ballers right here. Which trio would you start with your franchise? Westbrook, Durant, Harden, Steph, Clay, and Draymond, Mashburn, Jim Jackson, Jason Kidd. Starting off with you, Young P.
That's easy. This is so easy. Beyond easy. It's Steph, Clay, and Draymond. It's nothing else to think about. For one, they're a proven trio. Look at my shoe. Man, I can't read that chicken scratch over there. They're a proven trio. They won championship. And they made KD, who was part of what you could pick, come to play with them. I need to go be with them champions. So it's obvious. They proven you see what they can do. Let's go. Steph, Clay, and Draymond. I'm starting right there. Ain't nothing else to talk about. If y'all say anything else, it's time to end the
I'm
show.
about to move it down to Mastermind, but this lets me know this guy only go with anything on stats. Go ahead, Mastermind.
okay, I'm gonna be real with y'all.
Okay.
See, I'm kind of agreeing with what Ice said. I think that you're only going off of what you think stats. You're not going off of looking at the whole thing. Me myself, I probably go with the Mash Burn Kid and Jackson. The reason why I say that is because of this. I got a facilitator in Kid, and I got two proven scores right there. Guaranteed, no problem. And I got semi defense. I ain't saying I got the best defense, but I got semi defense on both ends because Kid's gonna get you some
Yeah,
steals.
yeah, kid got deep.
You know what I'm
Kid got
saying?
some
And
deep.
Jimmy Jackson, he gonna at least match up and attempt to. Now Mashburn, I don't know. He might, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying he the greatest at moving his feet, but I think out of them, I'm gonna come with some good D. I know that Clay, Draymond, and Steph would be the obvious answer because, like you said, they won championships and all of that. But it took a whole bunch to win the championship. They ain't just them three that started out the gate.
Go ahead. Cool breezy.
Since he had the first
Yeah, don't worry about that.
question, I'm with Steph, Clay, and Draymond. Reason being,
First off, just say
Man, I go-
yeah, you went first. That's why. That's why.
why
but I'm gonna clarify a little bit better. I'm going with Steph, Clay, and Draymond. No disrespect to the other trio. Um, they all good. I just think the X factor in my opinion is Dennis Rodman 2.0. Draymond. He will be the X factor as far as getting underneath people's skin when it comes
Okay.
down to if we're going matchup for matchup.
Okay. I'm glad he said that, folks. I'm glad he said that. I'm glad Young P said what he said. I'm glad Mastermind said what he said. I'm gonna throw a little twist in here. So who would win if they all three of them was playing in Ice Cube's 3-on-3? Now who would win? Them three against them three.
I'm gonna go with the shooter.
You still okay?
The other ones ain't really got no shooters.
Well,
Monster Mash couldn't shoot.
No, just one.
Jim Jackson
that,
could
that,
shoot.
that's but kids still in the tops and kids still in the tops in the three and shoot
And
and
we
shoot.
know Draymond not no jump shooter, so what point does that make?
Now watch this.
I'm
Because
just
I
asking.
also was going with Masburn and them, and then when I said, because I wasn't just going with the rings, because Kid got a ring, right?
Yep.
Okay, right. So I was just really want going with the rings. My thing is this: Kid, Masburn, and Jim Jackson today's game, they really be killing everybody. They both can take you off all of them go left or right, take you off the dribble, and hit the outside shot. You say all of that. So it's gonna be hard. If they was playing that 1-on-1, 3-on-3, can't nobody on what's the name dribble but Steph. Clay and Draymond really can't dribble if we was playing like that. If you ain't going up and down the court, we playing half court. Matt's burning up, killing that all day. Now Westbrook, Durant, and Harden
That's something different.
is something different.
That's something
You
different.
know what I'm saying?
Three
At
on three, I ain't gonna
3-on-3.
lie. I might go with them.
You know what I'm
Three
saying?
on three, I might go with them.
Now listen, if two more 3-on-3s, I could have. I mean, two more I could have thrown. And really more. I want to ask them boys. Where y'all put TMC at in that? Mitch, Tim Hart, I mean,
That's good.
Mitch,
Mitch, Tim, and Chris.
yeah, and Chris.
Chris Mullen, just for those who don't know.
Yeah, my bad for mixing up, baby. You know, I'm buzzing.
Tim Hardaway, Mitch Richmond, and Chris Mullen, for those who don't know who we talking
Talking
about.
about. And I got another three to throw in there. Nicky Van, Eddie Jones, and Aaron McKee.
I ain't really like Aaron McKee that much, but that was a pretty.
No, no, who was they throwing over there in LA? It was
It was Eddie Jones, Nick Van Exel.
what was the third?
Wasn't Vladdy, was it?
What Aaron Key? Aaron Key was with the seven.
Yeah, it was the same. It was Nicky. It was the
Was it
10th.
Glenn Rice?
No,
No, Glenn was
I
after.
get it. I get it.
Anyway, we'll
Yeah,
get back to the.
yeah, like
Yeah,
the run
Run
TMC.
TMC was good.
Okay, okay. Yeah, right.
Chris, Chris gonna shoot the
Okay.
lights out you too.
Right. Okay. But you
What
saw
about, what about Diesel, Hardaway, and D. Scott?
nah, them too big. That's why I kept everybody at that.
That's too big. Diesel, nobody.
Yeah, that's too big. That's why I kept everybody.
I got you.
You would've went anybody else, people would have went Jordan, Pippen, such and such.
No, I wouldn't have went with them because
I'm telling
there's certain threes. Just with
talking
me,
about
I'm saying how I took the question. Certain threes you don't even put in there because that's self-explanatory. Like you're not gonna find a better three than Mike in them because that's gonna be 5 in a row or 6 in a row. You know what I'm saying?
right.
And that's how I looked at Kobe and them too. Certain ones, that's why I say I try to think of something that wasn't winning like that.
Shaq in his prime was a monster, man.
Okay. That's why I had to switch it up, folks, because when we throw certain questions out there like that, everybody be like, oh, you said what I was going to say. You said this. So I wonder who going to say this. I wonder. You need a guaranteed home run. Who you going with to win the game? Reggie Jackson, Barry Bonds, Mark McGuire, Jim Thome, and Albert Pujols. Who you rolling with? Mastermind.
It's not that hard for me, ladies and gentlemen, in America and the panel at this table right here. I'm going with Barry Bonds.
Yeah.
We're going straight to the point. I know Barry ain't getting struck out like a lot of those cats we just named up there. You understand what I'm
That's
talking
what I
about?
got up there. Exactly.
Barry Bonds is going to make it happen.
Yeah.
So you can move on to the next person if you like. Barry over here, buddy.
Yeah. That's why I got Barry right here. Because, like you say, the rest of them guys going to strike out. I know with Barry up there, he going to take the whole pitch count.
Yes,
He
sir.
going to hit the home run or you going to walk. Simple as that. Jim told me and everybody else, proud of yourself for Pujols. All the other ones gonna strike out. I know I didn't see Reggie Jackson hit it in the clutch, but they all have hit in the clutch. But if my money was on it, I got to go with Barry Bonds. And speaking of baseball, these two guys over here play baseball. So who you guys going with?
Me first.
Yeah, you
It
cool
take you a
breeze.
long time to come up with that. You gonna flip about 70 pages to say one name. Oh, I'm my bad.
I'm gonna tell you what it was. I'm gonna tell you what happened.
You try.
McGuire. McGuire.
No, Barry Bonds.
Oh, Barry.
All time single.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Mr. 73.
Oh, you rolling with us?
Hey, you know
I forgot Barry. What McGuire hit? 70, 71?
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. I forgot because I know they forgot. You're down there on the St. Louis, on the billboards, on the
Oh,
freeways
that's
and all.
I,
Go ahead.
I got it. He forgot to write it down. I got
He
it.
forgot to write it down. That's why he had to keep looking through it.
I know I got it on here somewhere.
Saying such and
I
such.
know. I can't remember where that one was at. I got.
Oh, but got where it's at.
I got you.
Right.
I got you.
So I have to agree with the panel, but I did struggle a little bit because I wanted to put.
I can't believe this, America. We had a final agreement. Everybody said the same thing.
Pujols. I for that. I said I'd go with the panel, but I did struggle because I might go with Albert Pujols.
Yes.
Get up to the bat. Let's go, Albert Pujols.
And what tripped this out for me for the guy to ask this question. And I was kind of like he played baseball now, and he talking about home runs and everything. I just want to ask this guy a question. Have you ever hit a home run in the season yet?
That's a no. But you know why I haven't hit a home run? It's not that I can't hit a home run. I'm a baseball player, right?
You've been placing the hits.
I'm a place hitter. I'm trying to get everybody.
Lord Jesus, help us with these easy
This
cop
man
outs.
been playing.
I set them up to get home run. Now, when they get up the bat and they don't hit a home run, I have nothing to do with their weak ass batting and not hitting a home run.
Okay.
My job is get the double, single. I'm a smart base runner, all of that kind of stuff.
My man. Good answer. Good answer. My man.
For this season, I'm calling you out, sir. I need to see a home run out you. I don't want just one. I ain't saying a bunch of them.
Okay.
There we go. And yeah, I said it. We filming. We gonna come to the games live,
He
baby.
hit me with the Bill Cosby.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Gotta throw one of them out there, baby.
Which coach you don't want? Which NFL coach you don't want? Bill Parcells, Bill Walsh, Bill Belichick, or Jimmy Johnson? Starting off with you, Cool Breeze.
You cover my notes up just again.
I know you already looked at mine.
Belichick.
See, I knew he looked at mine. I knew it. See, I already knew it, America.
Belichick.
Everybody, the whole panel went with the same thing.
Bricks.
Ranks.
Did y'all not see him rattling in the paper trying to figure out where did
Yeah.
I
I gotta go back to that answer. I know they coming up soon.
For the simple reason that all his coaches underneath his so-called tree does nothing.
Okay.
None of them winners.
That's
That's
the
what you
reason
came
they
up
won.
with. So out of all that, you came up with it.
At least somebody from their umbrella or tree has did something.
Okay, we're gonna go to you.
Well, Mastermind says the same thing.
My bad.
I say the same thing. I say the same thing, but I kind of say mine for a different reason. I know everybody got somebody who they learned from, but to me, Bill just is a dead copy of the other Bill. So what's the purpose?
Parcells.
You know what I mean? And I got the chance to get the original Parcells. I don't need the duplicate. Everybody else that's on this list is all original. They came with their own coaching styles.
Super Bowls underneath that tree. Bill Belichick, right? Because Parcells taught Belichick, right?
Correct.
I got one of the Bill Parcells. What are you talking about? That's a the Parcells.
No, he's just saying the Parcells tree made champions.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's saying Belichick tree hasn't made it. I get your point. But see, I made a different point. Did you see what point I was making? None of those are originators except for, I mean, all of those are originators except for, there you go. So if I get a chance to get original, I'm going to go with that instead of getting me a carbon copy.
What you got down there?
and I hate to say it. One, I like your answer as far as if I can get the why do I need a copycat? But on top of that, unless you can show me something without Tom Brady, buddy, it's not looking good. It's looking like Tom kind of helped made you, covered up some insecurities and some foolishness that you're doing. Because some of your personnel decisions now and stuff like that making you look real bad in these streets, Belichick.
Right.
That's all. You know what I'm saying? So that's why you can go. Jimmy Johnson, we know what you did. Walsh, we know what you did. We definitely know what Parcells did. We know what you did. You know what I'm saying? And I get it. Belichick won the most Super Bowls out of all of them. But right now, it's not looking good for
Well, you got to go, Belichick. Like we say, everything you took was from Parcells, and then once they let you go out on your own, you went to Cleveland. You couldn't hack it. You ran right back up under that boy Parcells. And then, like you said, he left you with New England and all like that. He left you with draft picks, left you with Bledsoe and Tom Brady, Willie McGinnis, the Ty Laws, all of them. You had his players for a long, long time. And now that you doing the draft picks and all of that, you see what you doing. You trading talent. You don't know how to draft receivers. You was just getting anybody when you had Tom Brady. But now you're not looking good. Like they all saying, what have you done for them lately? So like I say, the whole panel up here don't want you. And I'm gonna ask them in a minute out of all these coaches who would they take since we all picked that we don't want you. And they already know I'm taking Jimmy Johnson out of everybody on here. And my reason for that is Jimmy took San Francisco out the way. Jimmy took New York Giants out the way, and it was his show. Like I say, Belichick, you was an assistant, so you weren't even involved in this. And like you say, when Jimmy Johnson came to Dallas, all you was hearing about was the Giants and 49ers. When he got there, you were just hearing about Dallas. And then when he left, I think San Fran snuck one in because of the Oklahoma coach Barry Switzer. But other than that, I don't want none of y'all. Jimmy Johnson, what you got to say about that?
I'm going to Wash.
I'm going with I say we shut that down.
That's a beautiful thing.
We have shut that down.
But the offense that most people are ran is because of who in the streets? Wash.
Right. Can't nobody run James.
Wash.
That's why everybody went in and out. Jimmy shut all that down. Who you got?
Let's go, Wash.
Who you got?
I got the mastermind, Bill
Bill
Parcells. Man.
Parcells.
I'm going with
Bill
Bill.
Parcells the good one.
I'm going with
But
Bill
like I
Parcells, back.
said, Jimmy
I'm
Johnson
going with the
shut
one
all
and
of them
only,
down.
back.
He shut all of them down here. Wash couldn't win when he was there. Bill Parcells, you had to go to the other side of town, baby. Cowboy Nation. That's what it was. But no
I,
more Jimmy Johnson. And now you stuck, Jerry Jones. You threw over there.
I agree with that part.
You threw.
Jimmy did make Dallas.
Mhm.
Jerry picked the wrong thing when he said he was the face. He should have just set to the back.
Right. Okay. Can or will any Detroit team win a championship within the next 10 years? Cool breeze.
Yeah, I think the Lions want to do it. Reason being, I like what they're doing, what they're building. I just,
So he said winning season. They ain't even have a winning season, but go ahead.
I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. I like what the Lions doing. No, I said within the next 10 years, we
Yeah.
go to the championship,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I like what they're doing. I like what they're building. Um,
Okay.
I think it's gonna be a minute for the Pistons to get themselves together. Lord knows, looking at the Tigers coming out the gate, look like they gonna. It's gonna be a minute before they even get their farm club together. And not really pay too much attention to hockey. Sorry, people, but
Okay. Young P.
that's a lot.
Young P.
Yeah, I was gonna go with the Tigers, and really, I just wore this because opening day is in 2 days. That's the only reason why I wore this. But
So wear it again.
yeah, I went. But yeah, because I don't know what you're doing down there, Iserman. Stevie, you supposed to have the Red Wings doing something better, but you ain't looking too good. And I think if the Lions can keep going in the right direction, yeah, the Lions have the best chance of them four to possibly win.
Now,
The Pistons are pretty good at the coach.
I'm not saying win.
I say there's a caveat on that.
Yeah, that.
Okay.
Ain't that was the question, right? To
Yeah,
make it
win.
the championship
Yeah,
or to win.
To win.
That's the question.
To win the championship the next 10 years. But you said get there, that's still cool. So no win, but
Right.
get there. Go ahead, Mastermind.
I'm kind of on the train like what Noob was saying when I answered this question. I'm saying to get there. I ain't saying
Right.
they're gonna pull it out, but I'm saying something different. Yeah, I said it. I think it's gonna be two teams. I think it's gonna be the Pistons and the Lions
Okay.
before the
Okay.
10 years because technically, I think the only thing that's derailing the Pistons is two things. The coach, it's time for you got to have a new
New year.
inflection of blood in there. You got to. You got to have a new voice because I think his style is kind of too old. Second, I think you just injuries. Cade ain't played the whole season. We can't get no chemistry with that. You got Ivy. Normally, you got him in the ideal world as your perfect slasher, and Cade is your LeBron, the ball handler who getting everybody involved and can get his too.
Right.
But you never get a chance to see that experiment because Cade been there. So
Right.
now I go. That's what I think is holding the Pistons up, and I
Okay.
think with them having the losing season this year, they gonna make a real good draft pick. I believe that. I think that that's gonna make some real good. It's gonna make some chemistry.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna disagree with these boys, and I'm gonna say
I'm going Pistons
no,
Lions.
None of
no. If any of them do, it better be the 10th year. Because if it ain't that 10th year, no. Because and Bill Davidson, God bless the dead, they gone. They passed away, and I don't think that just like how Steinbrenner going with the Yankees, and they you see what they doing. Yeah, they got people coming to the games, all of that, but they don't know how to bring what the teams need, and they don't know how to open up that book like Ellis and Davidson did and bring them players and knowing what the team need. I understand the Lions look good, they're looking good, and hopefully they're on the right direction, but I don't know too much about, I don't know too
I
much
think the
about
lady
the
gonna.
lady.
I
I'm
think
just
the
gonna
lady gonna.
say it.
I think the lady gonna open up the book, and I believe that my man gonna open up the book for the Pistons.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
think they gonna open. They
But
gonna open
see,
it
the
up.
thing is this opening up the book and bringing in the right player is two different things.
I think the GMs at both
Because,
spots gonna do.
Blake
no,
ain't
I'm
gonna
just
do
saying,
that game with
because
all that money.
one thing about, like you say, the Steinbrenners, the Illiches, and
Hmm.
Bill Davidson, the owners of the team, they knew who to bring in, even though they let Cash and all them, take care, but they didn't let them bring in no anybody.
Right. And I
You know
believe
what I'm
this
saying?
though.
Like I open up that book for Kirk Schilling. This is an example. You can't just open up the book for anybody.
Brad
And the
Holmes
Lions will they
does know what to do.
the Lions are
I know
type
Brad Holmes know what to
the
do.
Detroit teams are the type to open up the book for anybody. We be like, man, why you do this?
Right.
No, I don't.
They know for that.
I don't think that's. I don't think that's here no more. Not in those two sports, in basketball and football. I don't think that that's the case no more. I think under this new regime, like how we got rid of all of that, what's your man Stan Van Gundy and all that nonsense.
Yep.
I think this new regime ain't like that because I can only go by what they've been showing us.
Right.
Look at what they showed us. We ain't look like we got no bold picks except I know you don't agree with K. You would have said Jalen Green. I
Yep.
know that.
Yep.
And then football, what do we really say that's been bold? You know what I'm saying? They really ain't made no bold picks or nothing. So that's why I say I don't think this new regime gonna go with none of that, just giving you any money. And then we gonna bring nobody over here. I think they gonna if they gonna open up the book, it's gonna be for somebody that's well worked.
Just back off that. I think the books are already open with the two new owners, as far as the Sheila Ford,
Yep.
or that's her name,
Excuse me.
and
Right.
I can't think of the Pistons owner. I think the books is already open, like blank checks.
What I'm
They
saying.
just the general managers have to make sure that they're bringing in the right type of player.
Like,
That's what I'm
and
saying.
that's what I said. I think these general managers that we have now, the only ones that's in place now, I'm speaking of Brad Holmes and Troy Reaver.
Right.
Those two gentlemen are way better than I think that
What
we
we had
had in a
long
long
time.
time.
They better, but
This
they got
might be.
but they got to bring in somebody.
I think they will.
Are centers and guards undervalued in the NFL? Starting off with you, Mastermind.
I think they are, but I think it's due to the fact that you can't pay everybody. So you got to pick what positions you're gonna choose to get a big money to, because without that center and them guard, that up the gut rush would just kill you. You see what I'm saying? So I think they are kind of undervalued.
What you thinking down there, young Pete?
I say just guards, no. Centers, because a lot of times they gotta get up there and figure out that blitz package, and they gotta call the offensive line what our blocking scheme gonna be. So centers definitely they have a lot of duties going on at once, and they gotta hike the ball. Guards, I say no, only because a lot of times they can get center to help them block. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And a lot of times they pull it and they might be in the open field and truthfully, they can just be there and they ain't really block. My man just kind of couldn't get around his big ass. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So that's what I'm like. Centers, yes. Guards, no.
What you thinking?
I
Open
should
up to
position, and not even both positions. I'm gonna say the whole entire offensive line completely because it's not a pretty or glorified position that kids want to play. You know what I'm saying? From little league up, you looking like
But they pay
they can
tackles.
no,
Left and right, yeah, they pay them all day
yeah,
long.
depends
Really,
on
that left tackle.
Blind side.
right.
the blind side, but it's based on from little league. Oh, you big and chubby, you can play the line. Like you know what I'm saying? So I think it's just undervalued. Period. You know what I'm saying? It's not that pretty, glorified position that everybody want to play.
Well, I think that the guard is probably undervalued, but the center, I think the center and the quarterback go hand in hand, like you say, because they got to pick up the. He got to be just as smart as the quarterback, and he got to know everything just as much, as the quarterback. So he's valued just like the quarterback. It's like this: you can have a 9 out of 10 if you have a good quarterback, you got a good center. But you can have a good center and have a Mark Sanchez quarterback. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think the center is because, like you say, the centers are they get paid and they get mentioned, but 9 out of 10 they get mentioned. 9 out of 10 about when is your quarterback. Your quarterback will start this, 9 out of 10. That's how the center get mentioned. Like Saturday
Jeff
with Peyton and all
Saturday,
like that. But
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Other than that, if your quarterback ain't out there and good, then your center going but they pay him and all like that. Like I say, because Sanchez, they thought it was gonna be that deal, but then they remember they had that center from Ohio State, Mangold or something like that. And yeah, so it it go hand in hand with the center and the quarterback for me. But the guard, I think the guard is undervalued, in my opinion. Yeah. So next question: a healthy Durant or a healthy LeBron? Who pulls off the unexpected upset in the playoffs? Starting off with you, young P.
I'm gonna go with a healthy LeBron and the Lakers. And the only reason I'm going with them is because what the team is looking like now and what they've put together. So it's gonna seem as if it's an upset. We kind of expecting KD and Devin Booker and them to do what they're gonna do. So even if it's not gonna look like a upset. It's gonna look like they did just what they're supposed to do. I feel like the Lakers it's gonna come off as it's an upset because of how they started in the beginning of the season versus what they're doing and how they playing now.
Okay. What you got to say, Cool Breeze?
yeah, I'm taking the healthy Lakers to just because, like Pete said, just where they started and where they're going to end up at. I'm taking the healthy Lakers.
Okay. What you got to say down there, Mastermind?
It's gonna be a three-peat, baby. I'm going with the same thing, kind of similar to what P was down there saying. It's like it's already determined for, excuse me, for
Phoenix.
Phoenix to go so far, and the Lakers, you know what I'm saying, anything that they do but above the play-in is like a great season to them right now.
So everybody changed their mind once that trade happened then, right?
Yeah,
That's what happened.
yeah.
Okay, okay.
And you know what? They actually for prove me wrong. I didn't think they was gonna make the sixth seed. They awfully close. It's still gonna come down to these last couple games this
Okay.
week.
Well, I tell you what, I don't know the seed and how it's gonna go, but since we got this question, what would be great is they would meet in the Western Championship,
Hmm.
and then that'll solve this right here.
Yeah,
So
that
that's
would
how
be a nice.
So that'll solve that. Hopefully, y'all boys meet in the Western Championship, and this right here can really be answered. Okay, last question of the show, and it's going out like this: do you like the in-game season tournament for the NBA, and will the players take it serious? Mastermind.
Well, I'll be honest, I'm not really that familiar with how the in-game tournament process is going to take place, but I mean, from what I was explained, I think they're gonna take it serious, but I don't think it's gonna be
No,
that successful. Me myself, I don't like the idea from what was explained to me because it seemed like it's useless. It's like I'm playing for no purpose. I'm
I just
just
want you to get out of your chest.
yeah,
You
that's
know
what
what
I'm
I'm saying?
saying.
I'm bringing it right back to you. So,
Yeah,
so
that's it.
once he say what it is, then you can really get with you.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Go ahead, young P.
So the way that tentatively is set up right now is that the beginning of the season before the All Star break, you're playing for your seeding to get into the in-game tournament. So the top 8 teams with the best record will play for that actual in that actual tournament. So it ain't every team that's gonna make it. And then you play a single game elimination until you get to the championship game. The hopes of from the commissioner is that it'll force them to play better in the early season so that people will start watching the NBA earlier. And that because all of these are cup and seeding games to try to get you into this actual tournament. And then you can get a trophy plus I'm hearing right now each team the winner of each team gets a half a million or whatever. This is what you get as part of your prize for playing in this actual in-game tournament. So the whole focus is to boost the early season TV ratings, make it more competitive, but you fighting to get into it, and then the top 8 teams play in the tournament.
Sound like too much, but go ahead, Cool Breeze.
Think it's a waste of time. Like from what you explained, and hopefully it never comes true. I just think it's a waste of time. You got a lot of factors in it. If you got players that's gonna play, then they're gonna take even more time off during the regular season because they got to play in this tournament.
But you got to play 65 games.
Exactly.
So
In
give
order to
like
get any player in the
accolades.
yeah.
Right. Okay.
Then I'm just gonna end it real quick. Uh, also, my second big note is we're gonna change it and make it an in-game tournament. Let's pay it with the teams that didn't make the playoffs and have them make them play a tournament, a 3-game tournament with a single game, however you want to make it for the rights to get the number one pick. Because because the lottery balls is the lottery. You know what I'm saying? It's literally the lottery.
Yeah.
Even though the Pistons gonna have finished with the example pick,
They gonna get the first pick.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
so that's my thoughts. Oh, still in my phone.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I give a salute to that.
Zone? No. We're gonna end it on that note. That sounded good. That sounded good.
About to spot up.
No, that sounded good.
Okay.
That sounded real
Well,
good.
there it is, folks. That's how we ended the show.
Yes, sir. Salute the great show.
Yes, sir. Peace out. Till next week,
Yeah,
y'all.
that was like you say. That'll be. I'm gonna wait till I thought one of y'all gonna say that too. Like.